Morning, everyone. This is our 6th week of Back Care, Dru Back Care course, so our last week. So next week we will have just a kind of nostalgia class from before, and then we'll start a new block of classes. I haven't quite decided what our theme's going to be, so I'll let you know. But welcome everyone, and as you can see I've got my chair here just to remind you, if that's the best place for your hips, for your knees at any stage, when we're starting, ending, then make sure you've got props here that work for you. I'm on my block, a pillow and a blanket as well for different parts of the class today. So let's begin with a little bit of just focusing and tuning in. So take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, I offer you a namaste, a welcome, and maybe you can offer that same namaste to yourself, to your body. And a thank you for showing up on the mat and taking a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, maybe offering that same honoring, seeing the light, seeing the goodness in this day that is around you, like no other day. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in this day. And then taking a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, feel the namaste, the honor that you can bring into each breath. I honor this breath and the next, savoring, appreciating, feeling the life within myself. And it may be useful for you to equalize the length of the inhalation and exhalation as we begin our practice this morning. Breathing in for a count that is comfortable for you, and breathing out for the same count, inviting the breath into the belly. And when we equalize in this way, we equalize attention and awareness, and also relaxation and peace, equalizing the stimulation to our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous system. So as you continue to breathe and focus on the breath and the body as we begin our practice, I'll just offer you one last tidbit about your back. So this week's tip is that you rarely need a scan, and it can do more harm than good. It's often attractive when we're not sure what's going on with our back to say, just get a scan and see what's going on. But the reason that the experts are telling us this can do more harm than good is that this is because seeing perfectly normal changes to your spine can cause you to avoid the activities you should be doing to get better, such as exercise and movement in general. In very rare cases, there may be something more serious or underlying that requires medical advice. A scan may help with your diagnosis and symptoms to be aware of things like, I've told you before, the warning signs are difficulty passing urine, having the sensation to pass water that's not there, numbness and tingling in your genitals or buttocks area, loss of bladder or bowel control, impaired sexual dysfunction, loss of power in your legs, feeling unwell with your back pain, like fever or significant sweating that wakes you up when you sleep. These are signs that, yes, a scan could be useful. And so obviously you'll be going to your medical provider. They say, but these account for just 2% of cases. So if your doctor or physio doesn't send you for a scan, you should take it as a good sign. There's nothing concerning going on. So just to reiterate, often when you see changes in the scan, it scares you and then you're less likely to do movement. So a summary of our tips so far: most pain is mechanical, your back is stronger than you think, use it or lose it. Regular, consistent movement and exercise is the most effective strategy to prevent further episodes of back pain. Sleep is important. It affects how we move and how we experience our body, especially when we have some pain. Bend and lift with awareness and confidence. Keep those heavy objects close to the spine. Have a straight back. Painkillers will not speed or encourage recovery. Movement and exercise are cheaper and more effective. Only use painkillers in conjunction with other therapies. And finally, the number one strategy: you are the expert. Get to know your own back. So our focus this week, as we come out of this 6 weeks, we remember it's very normal to have periods of back pain, with and without obvious pathology. Just like a headache or a flu or any other form of physical ill health. We will have times of low mood and energy, maybe even depression and other forms of poor mental emotional health. These things come and go. We haven't been here to say there's a magic bullet to never feel back pain again. We've been here to bring understanding, more compassion, more attention to this part of ourselves that is asking for our attention. And so Rachel Naomi Remen says, quote, "Until we stop ourselves, or more often have been stopped, in this case perhaps by back pain, we hope to put certain of life events behind us and get on with our living. After we stop, we see that certain of life's issues will be with us for as long as we live. We will pass through them again and again, each time with a new story, each time with a greater understanding, until they become indistinguishable from our blessings and our wisdom. It's the way life teaches us how to live." So perhaps in this 6 weeks together, we've been learning how to live and honor our backs. So I invite you to come to standing. We'll get ourselves activated. I'll just get some music playing. Give everything a little shake. Come straight into earth together. Back and forth. Hands in front. Feel your hips apart. Feel the four corners of the feet. Posture is squeeze. Knees are soft. Breathe in and out. Out. Breath out. All through the nose if possible. Breathing. Active water. Out. Unrelaxed. Come like your legs wider opening to your yoga. Allow you to stay empty. Back. You have the rocks. Feel how you press in. Rocks. Legs. Next exhalation. Forward. Roll back to your squat. Rise. Like that. Bend into that forward leg, arms up on the exhalation. Giving your hips a little wiggle in that figure eight position. Come back here. Top shaft. Beautiful. Wiggle them around and then let's meet down on the mat. Ready for some floor work. So lying on your back. Actually, no, I really want to start with cat today. Sorry. I'm going, oh, I'm craving a cat. So on all fours. And just start the movement you know so well, cat, cow. And then challenge yourself, just like we did with Earth sequence, to really link the breath with the movement. What happens when we do that? When we do that, we really begin to pay attention to the subtleties of what's happening in our body. The breath is that link between body and mind, bringing our thoughts back into our experience in our body right now. And it can create some powerful insights. And also help us from being distracted and just doing movements that might be counterproductive for our own bodies. Beautiful. And then let your feet flatten and come back into child's. Lengthening here. And just savoring each movement as we now come down onto our bellies. Either in Sphinx or hands underneath the shoulders for Cobra. Squeeze the ankles together, roll the shoulders back, and breathe in and just lift the chest a bit. I could take my hands away and still be in the same position. Breathe out. Let your head come down and look to one side, hands still under the shoulders, or you're resting on your elbows in Sphinx if that's better for you. Breathe in, squeeze ankles, lift chest. Just a baby cobra. Roll your shoulders back a few times. Feel all the muscles engaging up and down the spine. Squeeze those ankles and breathe out. Look to the other side. Breathe in, squeeze ankles, lift chest. Breathe out, look to the first side again, relax. We'll just do one more the other side. Squeeze ankles, breathe in, lift. And breathe out, other side. And then take the arms wide, up on your fingertips, elbows bent. And now find some fluidity in this movement. So we've been working with baby cobra, lengthening and strengthening those long extensor muscles, but also your inner thigh muscles, balancing out some strength there. And now we find just some groove, a bit of flow. Still strengthening along the back, but finding a bit of movement through the shoulders. Lovely. And then bringing the hands underneath, tucking the toes, and rising back up into cat position. And looking over your shoulder towards your feet, moving into a C shape as if you're trying to bring your shoulder and your hip together. And then breathe in, come to the middle. Breathe out, go the other way, C shape, look towards your feet. Breathe in. One more time each side. Really squeeze where the ribs are, the side, abdominals, the waist. Breathe. And then make it a crazy cat. Just like we did with that nice, flowing, easy cobra. Now let the cat find all those little parts in your hips, in your shoulders, in your head, neck, that it just feels good to move. Circling, squeezing, rolling, looking, feeling, loosening, feeling into those spots that need some attention. Lovely. And then extending through the right leg, lengthen it out. And then breathing in, lift it. Breathing out, tuck it into your chest, bring your nose and your knee together. Tiger curl. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, squeeze. It's a real squeeze up into your chest. If the lengthening puts too much back bend into your back, just have the lengthening just hovering off the ground. And then squeeze, really press into your hands, push the earth away. Extend and lengthen with inhalation, exhalation, press the earth away, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Can you get that knee right up to your chest? One more. Lengthen, let that feel good. And then squeeze. And then change sides. If it feels like you need to do some crazy cat and curl around and circle your back, then please do. Breathe in to lift. Feel that glute working. Breathe out, tuck in. Breathe in, lengthen. Feel the strength in your glute. Press the earth away. Breathe out. Squeeze, press into the palms. Lift the upper back, squeeze, squeeze. So we're doing some core work there with the squeezing, some glute work with the lengthening. And lovely freeing of the spine as well. So it's like, still like a cat-like position. We've just turned it into a tiger. Squeeze. And lengthen. Find your rhythm. Make your breath and the movement come together. Extend. And then bring that leg down. Sink back into child's. You make it a wide leg child's pose if that's okay for you. And lengthen through your arms. Let the heart drip and drop to the floor. I'm just going to show you if being in child's and on your knees like that isn't comfortable, you could modify that with your chair. Get that same dripping of the heart to the floor, standing and dropping your heart through your shoulders, hands on a chair. I know not everybody loves these deep bends through the knees. Lovely. And then coming down onto your belly and resting your hands. We're going to go into a locust, so you can either have your head resting on your bent arms. Some of you might feel okay just with your arms by your sides, looking off to the side that you choose. And you may even want a cushion underneath your belly if this is too much of a back bend for you. And then focusing on your right side, tuck those toes under and lift your knees. Feel the squeeze into that right glute. And either staying here or release the toes, point them and lift them towards the sky. I'm feeling so much happening right here in the right glute, but I'm letting my shoulders relax, my face relax, my arms relax. And I'm just going to do tiny little circles, counterclockwise. I'm checking in that my left glute is relaxed, my left leg is relaxed. It's all happening here on the right. Lifting as high as I can, and then going clockwise, going the opposite way. Little circles, working that glute. And then breathing in and breathe out, release. Switching sides. So tucking your left toes under, lifting the knees, squeezing the left glute, relaxing the right. Changing where your head sits if you need to, and then lift if you're coming a bit further. Pointing the toes. If that's too strong, then keep the toes on the ground and you're just squeezing and lifting that knee. And then clockwise circles. Try to keep the circles close to the other leg. Don't let it go right off to the side. And notice what there is to notice. What differences there might be to the other side. I find it a lot harder to activate this glute than my right glute. And it's probably no coincidence that this SI joint is the one that tends to bother me. Go in the opposite direction with your circles. So gaining insights, gaining awareness of your own body and breathing. Savoring movement, rest of the body relaxed. Lift that glute high, or the legs, sorry. And then breathe out, release it. Well done. Hands under the chest. Lift yourself up. Little roll around with the hips again. And then come over on your side and bring the legs forward. We'll work a little bit with forward fold. So give the legs a little shake in this forward fold. Notice how you are sitting up freely this way. If you're finding your back's really rounded, then it would be useful to sit on the edge of a cushion and get your hips a bit higher for this. And if you know your hamstrings are really tight, it's useful to have just a little something under the knees. So now I'm feeling a lot more supported in this sitting posture. But I'm going to work specifically with one leg, so I'm just going to put the support under one knee and have that right knee out to the side and tucked into the thigh. So just change your supports that way. So I'm going to breathe in and lift nice and tall. And breathe out, hands come down past the heart and then palms facing away. I stretch with my palms over the top of that leg. I'm not reaching for the floor, I'm not reaching for my toes, I'm reaching straight out from the heart. Tuck the chin slightly, keep the back of the neck long. And then breathing in, I rise up. Breathing out, hands come down front and then out. And stretch. So we create this nice cycle now. In breath to lift, out breath, flowing down past the heart and extending. This should feel really nice. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in, flowing forward. So even with the cushion underneath my knee, I can feel that hamstring stretching and lengthening. The cushion under my hips, my back feels supported. And the next time you come forward, we're going to pause there for a moment and let the hands come down, either wherever they hit on the ground where it's comfortable for you. Chin tucks, you should be looking down towards the ground so the back of the neck is nice and long. If you need to walk the hands in closer to you, even right up near the knees, feel free. Where does it feel supported for you? And then breathe in. And as you breathe out, tuck your chin into your throat. Breathe in, release that, look towards your hands. Breathe out, tuck your chin. Breathe in, release that. And breathe out, look over your shoulder. Breathe in, release. Breathe out, look over your other shoulder. And then breathe in, rise up tall. Give your hips a little shake, your ribs a shake, and breathe out, come down. Put your props off to the side for a second, roll onto your back, and we'll just take our feet mat width apart and let them windscreen wipe side to side before we come to the other side. So start with your knees moving, and then start to take your head into the movement, going the opposite way to your knees. This should just feel really nice, freeing. You might even get a little bit of stretch into your quadriceps. Freeing the head, freeing the neck. Getting this ringing action down your spine. Lovely. And then we'll meet it sitting, so whether you come to your side and then rise up, or just come up, whatever's comfortable for you. And we'll come to the other side. So you may want to get your props in the same way, perhaps lifting the hips, supporting the knee if the hamstrings are tight. I have perennial tight hamstrings, I'm always working on them. And on this side, this hip and knee aren't quite as flexible, so I'm going to support that knee as well. So breathing in, lengthen up to the sky. Breathing out, hands pass in front of the heart and then extend out across the top of that foot. Breathe in. So there shouldn't feel like there's any strain with this. Yes, we're working to lengthen the hamstring. Yes, there's effort to lift the body up, but you shouldn't feel that there is an overstraining through the low back especially. If there is, you probably need to lift those hips a bit higher and or bend the extended leg a little bit more. So I could either just put it on a bend or I could put extra support under it to keep it on a bend. Always just assessing, where's my body, what is supportive, what is within my zone of opening and strengthening and challenging, but not going too far. And then putting the hands down wherever they're comfortable. Tuck that chin in slightly so the back of the neck is long. Just letting the hips and legs settle. Allowing some anterior tilt to your pelvis. So it's like you're taking your belly button towards your toes, and then breathing in, looking up and breathing out. A little circle of the head. So just doing, if that's comfortable for your neck. If that's not, if your neck has been compromised in some way or is really tight, then maybe linear movements feel safer for you. But we're just letting ourselves explore some movement through the neck here while we just let that hamstring slowly open with gravity and the belly button pull towards the feet. You can feel this slow blossoming and unfolding of the hamstring and the low back in this way. But it should feel supported, not strained. Beautiful. And then breathing in, rising up. Take your props off to the side again, and we'll meet back on our backs. So as we roll down onto our backs, the knees come into the chest. Hang on to your right knee and extend through that left leg. Stretch through the heel, have it hovering off the ground. And then bring that leg back in, hold the left knee, extend the right, hover the leg off the ground, extend through the heel. And then come back in, both knees in, hang on to the right, extend the left, and then let it drop to the ground. Pause and tune into your low back. If there's any sense of strain, then I'm going to pop a little cushion underneath my knee, extended leg, to take some of that strain out. If there's no strain, then it's a good thing to have it fully straight because we're working to lengthen our iliopsoas. So keeping that right knee in close to the chest, we're relaxing this left leg, and we're going to take 3 deep yogic breaths here. So what that means is as I breathe in, I let the belly expand, and then the ribs, and then the chest, and that breath comes right up to the base of the throat. And the exhalation releases from the throat, the chest, the ribs, the belly. So continue in that way. Start at the belly, really expand, and let that expansion of the breath, it's a really full breath, come right up to the throat. And as you do, we're letting the front of this hip have a sense of letting go, just unraveling, softening, releasing. You may even find through the course of the breaths that if there was feeling like a bit of strain at the low back, it might even feel like you could take the cushion away now. Just play with that. If not, leave it there. Beautiful. And then bend that left leg, bring it back in, and then extend the right leg. If for any reason you need to roll the knees around, then do. Check in with the right leg. Maybe this leg is different. There's no strain at the back. Maybe there's more, so support. Bend that knee, put support under the knee. Squeeze that left knee into the chest, and then 3 deep yogic breaths. If deep yogic breaths are familiar to you and you have the capacity to focus on that and on the front of the hip, lengthening, softening, a deep unraveling. Inviting release from layers that you might not even know are there, deep layers of muscle tissue releasing. And then both legs come back into the chest. And then put your feet on the mat and we'll come into our bridge pose. So walk the feet in so they're close to the buttocks without grabbing them with your hands. Keeping the feet hip width apart. Spread your toes. Feel the 4 corners of your feet firmly pressing into the earth. And then flatten the low back. Squeeze the glutes and breathe in and lift your glutes. Look at your knees. Make sure they're still hip width apart. They're not flopping off to the side. Shoulders are relaxed. Face is relaxed. And breathe out. Release the spine back to the earth. Feel the 4 corners of the feet. Press into them. Flatten the back. Breathe in. Squeeze the glutes and lift up to your middle back. Soften the shoulders, soften the face. Breathe out, slowly placing the spine back down. Getting to know your spine. Everything releases in a place of repose. Arms are soft. And then feel your feet press into the earth. Flatten your back. Squeeze your glutes. Keep the knees hip width apart. As you breathe in and lift up so you can feel the back of the heart, the shoulder blades pressing into the earth. Squeeze glutes. Feel the feet. Soften the face, soften the shoulders. Arms are relaxed. Palms maybe facing upward. You're so relaxed. All the effort in the legs and glutes. And then with your out breath, slowly 1 vertebra at a time. Feel your back. Good morning back. And then let everything go for a breath. And then wiggle your toes. Find the 4 corners of your feet and press into them equally. Flatten your back. Squeeze your glutes. Knees stay hip width as you breathe in and lift as high as it's comfortable for you now. The chin will be tucking into your throat. You might even want to just tuck it in a little bit more and then soften it. Squeezing those glutes and lifting. Shoulders are relaxed. You can feel the weight in your shoulders. Maybe you want to kind of tuck your shoulder blades under and that feels good. And then with your out breath, flow down. Now we're going to do 3 more breaths with that. So you can either rise with the in-breath, come down with the out-breath, or you can lift and hold for 3 breaths. You choose. 4 corners of the feet. Just going to throw out some places to be aware of. Knees are still hip width. Chin is tucked in. Glutes are squeezing and lifting. Can you see how much we keep coming back to our glutes? They're so important as foundations for back health. The breath is coming freely, feeling the spine, lifting, strong. Chin is tucked, back of the neck is long. And then we all meet back down on the mat, bringing the knees into the chest, and then rolling over onto one side. So we're here with our favorite pose, with the arms extended, and we'll do our lying twists. So let's make the clock. Breathing in, taking the arm overhead. You know, in past weeks we've gone slowly, so if that suits you, please do that. Arm extended at 180 degrees at the apex of the inhalation. Exhalation, make the lower part of that circle. So we'll do 3 active, 3 moving breaths. And then at the end of the 3rd one, we're going to come back into the twist and hold. And so let's meet in the twist, arms extended, press into the backs of the hands, and maybe do a little adjustment to the shoulder blades, lift and tuck the shoulders, take the head side to side. Maybe you can get rid of your support now, look towards your outstretched hand. And then maybe some pressure on the upper leg. Notice what that might offer. Maybe even drawing that leg over off the bottom leg so that that knee creates extra twist. Even have the option, if you like, to straighten that upper leg. Notice what that offers. I'm holding my toes with my fingers. So many things we could just subtly change with this twist, but trying to keep that outstretched arm and shoulder in contact with the ground. Maybe a bit of movement through the neck feels good. And just 2 more breaths, just giving our body time. So often when we practice on our own, we're kind of ticking boxes to do each movement, but we forget to just stop and savor and breathe. Our muscles need at least 20 seconds to release. Our nervous system to let those muscles know it's okay, you can relax. And then ending that leg, coming back through center, maybe doing a few little rolls around to release the back, and then we'll meet on the other side. Nice support with me. Get yourself in position in your L shape with your legs, extended arms, and then just start your circle. In breath on the upper half, out breath the lower half. Kind of doesn't matter how often I do this. Gosh, it feels so delicious. And so pay attention to your own pace and timing as you do this. Let it be really slow, aware, honoring. There's no rush. We're all here together for the same amount of time. And then finishing with the arms extended, or maybe you keep moving. Maybe the movement feels better to you. Maybe pressing into the backs of hands and tucking shoulder blades under. Maybe moving the head side to side. Maybe you want to take your support away now. Maybe putting pressure on the top knee, maybe letting it come forward and off, maybe straightening. There's so much you can do in this shape once you start exploring what feels good. And the breath, our friend, softening, inviting awareness. Lovely. And then meeting back with our spine on the floor, the knees in. Roll the legs around with the legs, the knees apart. Beautiful. And then the feet to the sky, happy baby. Hold the knees or the ankles or the feet on either side. Just looking for the feet to be facing towards the sky. You can roll side to side. And if it feels good here, you could even experiment with straightening those legs, stretching into those inner thighs. Maybe that's available at this stage, maybe it's not. And then we're going to meet at standing and finish with tree. So you can roll to your side to get there, or you could roll along the spine if that feels good. Cross your legs at the ankles and pedal yourself up to standing, an important position actually as we tune into our core, staying strong through our life. So we come to standing, our last posture. Legs are on the, feet are on the floor. Give your knees a little shake. One final review of our standing posture. So knees are soft, pelvis not tucked under, not sticking out, in neutral position, just a soft curve at the low back. Silver cord lifting you to the sky. Roll the shoulders back and then let the arms be free. And the chin is slightly tucked, it's parallel to the earth. Really feel that movement that you can get up through the body and up to the sky that comes from this really firm base at your feet. And from here, we turn that right knee out, squeeze the left glute. Hello, here it is again, these glutes supporting us. Silver cord still lifting us to the sky. Staying here, or just lift the toes and hover. Make sure that left knee hasn't locked, or plop it on the shin, tuck it into the thigh, but don't put it on the knee. Spread those left toes a bit more, give them a wiggle, feel that foot really in contact with the earth. Both hips are facing forward as we breathe in and take the arms overhead. Breathe out, bring the hands down to the heart. Pause here. And based on your practice today, what will you take with you into the day, off your mat? What intention, what insight has arisen? Peace, awareness, awareness linked to the breath, strength. I'm stronger than I know, stronger than I thought. Whatever it is, open the fingertips just a little bit and imagine you're placing it in there like a seed. And then breathe in and take that little bud overhead and let it expand into Lotus Mudra, fingers extended, your hands making a lotus. Open the elbows. And then breathing in, lift that even higher to the sky. And then breathing out, open the arms wide, twiddle your fingers. It's like those lotus petals are now floating down around you. And the leg comes down slowly. We're back into Tadasana, and just little figure eights with your hips. Finish that off. Beautiful. And we come to the other side. So start in Tadasana, feeling strong as a mountain. Then begin to turn that left knee, squeeze the right glute, soften the right knee, hover, come to the shin, come to the thigh, keep the toes on the ground, it's up to you, but keep that right glute active. Breathe in. Breathe out, arms come down to the heart. Your intention for the day, place it there in your heart. I am, I have. What is this quality you'll take with you, this quality of being? And then take the seed of that overhead and let it blossom through the activities of the day. Fingers extending out into Lotus Mudra, elbows staying wide. Feel the strength behind your heart. Squeeze the right glute. And then breathing in, take that high, offer it to the day. And breathe out, turn the palms away, twiddle your fingers, little lotus blossoms falling all around you. And the leg comes down, and the hips do a lovely little dance. And maybe a little ragdoll twist again to finish our practice. Just notice how the back feels compared to when we started. And then let's meet on the mat to integrate, to allow everything to seep in. So you have your chair there. If you wanted to put your legs up on the chair, I'm just popping a cushion under my knees and a fairly flat folded blanket just for a little support under my head. So take a deep breath. In and out. With each breath, allowing the spine to settle down into the earth. Take a longer, deeper breath. And sigh it out. Let your mouth really open wide as if you're yawning. Sigh it out. And do that one more time. Big yawning breath. I was actually reading the other day with face yoga, that sort of doing a fake yawn like that and closing your mouth slowly is good if you're getting little jowls as you age. Just a little fun fact. And so now we're feeling how the body can just come to rest and just integrate, absorb the goodness of the practice we've just had. We don't have to do anything except focus on the body and the breath. The more we keep our mind connected to our body, the more powerful this gentle process will be. It's very much aligned with positive neuroplasticity, with Rick Hanson's taking in the good. So we've had this experience of yoga, of union, caring for our back, our bodies. And we're really going to just feel what that was like. Maybe feel satisfied with ourselves. getting onto our mats. Life is busy, it's not easy to do. Out of our beds, out of our activities. And we're going to let ourselves absorb the goodness of this practice. What's the metaphor, the image that works for you? Maybe you're a sponge, you've just soaked in the golden nectar of your practice. Maybe you're just letting yourself lie here as if you are the earth itself, absorbing gentle rain. Maybe you're like the ocean. If you've seen those images where you put a drop of water and you see the ripples coming out, maybe that drop of water is the goodness of your practice, and the ripples are the ripples of the benefits that come to your body, to your back, to your life, to your mind. Maybe you can feel that within you there is a treasure chest of strengths, of resources, talents. And with your practice today, you've added another jewel. Or maybe it feels like there are seeds of potential, a whole garden within you. And today you've watered and planted and tended your garden, absorbing the goodness of what you've just done. And then we take that goodness off our mats and into the day. So once again, aligning with your intention. This is how I choose to be as I come into my day with awareness. And then we remember, as we finish this 6 weeks of back care, that it is so normal to have periods of back pain, just like we might have a flu, a headache, any other illness. Maybe for you it's not your back, it's your knee or your neck. Life is not always on the high. There's always ups and downs, low mood and energy, good health and health challenges. There's no magic bullet, but there is getting to know you and how to work with your own body. And so as Rachel Naomi Remen tells us, until we stop ourselves, or more often have been stopped, we hope to put certain of life's events behind us and get on with our living. But after we stop, we see that certain of life's issues will be with us for as long as we live. We'll pass through them again and again, each time with a new story, each time with a greater understanding, until they become indistinguishable from our blessings and our wisdom. It's the way life teaches us how to live. And so I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and have a sense of gratitude for your body, for your back, for your life, and for whatever it is that has brought you here onto your mat to nurture and honor you. And then taking a breath in and taking the arms overhead and stretching through your legs and toes. Breathe out, bring the knees into the chest. And then we finish as we started, seated. Bring whatever props you need just for these last moments of Om. Spine tall and strong, stronger than you think. We bring our hands to rest at our heart or in prayer position. Breathing in deeply, feel the belly expand. With our hands in prayer, the light within me sees and greets, honors the light within you. Namaste.